Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Stephen A. Williams. We're making money with Stephen A. Williams on YouTube. Thank
New
you for
visitor.
well, that's my computer talking. Thank you for watching this video, no matter which platform you're on. In today's video, I'm going to have a short conversation with you about the power of your mind, and to hopefully kind of wake you up so you won't be so much on automatic. Just in case you're new to my channel, or even if you know me, you may not know that I'm a certified hypnotherapist. And what I learned when I was getting my certification and going through my schooling for it was, and I knew this, before that, but
New visitor.
I wanted to get more, learn more about it, because I believe that all of the issues that we have, well, not all, but a lot of the issues that we have when we try to accomplish goals, or try to do things to make changes in our lives, the reason why we can't do it is because our mind stops us. And some of the examples that we had used, or that was given to me in my lessons, so I could share examples to people, was one of them that a lot of people fall for, is that they'll tell you, hey, follow this, and I want you to put it on your forehead, I want you to put it on your chin, I want you to put it on your cheek, and then I want you to put it on your forehead. And what happens is a lot of people will follow, and that will show that a lot of people are just following without even questioning. Like, so, I wonder how many of you, when I was said put it on your forehead, but I put my hand here on my cheek. That's an example of you just, being on automatic, where you're not really utilizing your mind to understand, to think about what's being said and done. Another example is driving your car. When you get in your car, do you have to remind yourself to put the key in there? Do you have to remind yourself to, I did like this. They don't even have them there anymore. But to do the, to move and put it in reverse, or to put it in a drive, like, you don't have to train yourself to do that stuff. You automatically do it. How many times have you been driving, you're on the freeway, maybe listening to music, talking to whoever's in the car with you, and you're all of a sudden you're at your exit, and it's like, oh, I got to get over, I'm gonna miss the exit, and you don't even remember like which lane you were driving. You don't remember any of the other cars that passed you, unless someone came flying by, or they had a very unique vehicle. I bet you wouldn't even know, probably barely be able to name off two or three of the cars that was right there on the road with you for, up to 20, 30 minutes on the freeway. Another one is like a bicycle. So if you don't drive, I'll give this example: riding a bicycle. Once you learn how to do it, you get on there, then it's taken over by your subconscious mind. You don't have to teach yourself how to do that over and over and over again. Well, one of the things that I became fully aware of, with how you can kind of reprogram your subconscious mind to help you with things, especially with fears, is I use this example when I used to work with clients, is I would say, okay, if you have a nightmare, have you ever had a bad dream and then you woke up and you were like, well, I'm glad that wasn't real? Have you ever had that situation happen to you? Well, why would you believe, even consider that it could be possibly real? Like, have you ever like ran that through your mind? Like, you were dreaming, maybe you were moving, maybe you jumped out of the bed. My wife said, well, she's told me a few times that I've actually like kind of got up, and she was like, what are you doing? And so when you're dreaming, it could feel like it's real, like it. And so if you think about it, wouldn't the opposite happen? See, most of the time we just go to bed and we're start dreaming because of what we probably experienced through the day. And then there's people out there that interpret dreams, that you might, if you have a bad dream, it's not necessarily that's going to happen to you, but it's just saying that you might have had a lot of anxiety, a lot of things that happened to you during the day, and it's making your body is like releasing it in your dreams. But something that I do is that, what if the same thing. You take the same situation, but you flip it. Instead of allowing your brain to just run off with what was happening through the day or arguments or fights or whatever you got into, what if you could actually tell your mind what to think during while you're asleep? And you can actually do that. I've done this for years. I still do it to this day. And the first time I experienced it, it was when I was 14 years old. I listened to a hypnosis. Back then, it was these cassette tapes, and I would listen to it over and over and over again. Like my parents thought that they were like, "What are you going crazy or something? What do you listen to?" It was just like waves, like you were at the ocean, but it was a message behind it, a very positive message. One of the things that it did for me that I didn't even realize at that time is that it made me a very strong person on the inside. Like there's really nothing no one can say to me to get me upset. Like and I've had some very bad things said directly to me, but because I'm a whole person, I'm my own person. And when you're your own person, people can't get reactions out of you. As a matter of fact, people have said things to me, and I'm like, that does nothing to me. I know who I am, and that person ended up getting more upset. So, like, for me not responding, they got even more upset. So upset that some people that and I don't run into this all the time, so I don't want to give you a bad impression. But in the past, when I was younger, people would actually try to fight me, and I was like, it seemed like when the more that they saw that I had my self-control, the more self-control they lost for themselves. So people try to get reaction. So what if you were to tell yourself what to think at night? Like, so say for instance, you have high anxiety. Say for instance, you're not motivated. Say for instance, you have a fear of failure. You know that you can actually reprogram your subconscious mind, and you will start to actually like do things that prove that you're not you don't have those fears anymore. Now it does take work. It's not something that's done overnight, and there will come a time where you will be confronted with that fear. Like one thing that was different from what I did as a when I was practicing hypnotherapy was that I would tell my clients, because I went through this myself, is that even though you listen to the audios and you do that over and over again, that's a building process in your subconscious mind. And what that's going to do is it's going to change the record. So if you can imagine this, you have one record that's been playing over and over and over again. And that's what people either said bad about you, what you think bad about yourself, all of those things. And it's just playing over and over and over. Imagine like you're listening to a song, and at some point you you just know the lines of the song. Well, that's what's happening in your mind when that record is playing. So even if you try not to be fearful, you try not to have anxiety or whatever you're going through, or anger, it's going to automatically happen because you're playing that record over and over. You wouldn't be yourself if you didn't do that. So that's automatic. That's in your subconscious mind. That's in your body. You that's who you are. But now if you change that and you play a new record, this one doesn't go away. All you're doing is adding a different potential outcome to situations that come about. And what I would tell my clients, and this is what happened with me, is that at some point, so you have both records playing. You're doing the new one with the more positive, the new you, and you still had an old one. That's why it's so hard to break old habits. At some point, you will get tested with the new you. And at that point is when you should be strong enough. If you've been playing that new one over and over again, at that point, it's going to present itself to you. I guarantee this to you. It's going to present itself. And at that time, that's when you need to stand up and be the new you. This happens all the time with people. They'll say, I was just so sick and tired of this situation, my condition, and I just, stood up. Well, one thing one of the things that they're not even aware of is that when you're working towards something, that's why they put the key word working. You're working, you're building towards something, and that's what people do. And then, but still, at some point, you're going to get tested, just like a sports player. They're working to get into the NFL. There's going to be the NFL draft this week. They are working to get into the NFL. They practice, did all the stuff that they need to do, but they're gonna get tested when they get into the NFL. And a lot of players that make it to the NFL do not pass that test. And what do you always hear? They say it's mental. You got to be smart on the field, physical on the field, but they always say you got to be smart. How can you be smart? You get smart by building, by working at it. Before I let you go, this is something that I did, because I always like to prove. Like, I'm not just someone who comes on and just says a lot of words and don't show the proof. This here, I had went through this class or course. It was from one of my mentors, and it was called the last year of your life. And what we had to do is pretend like it was the last year of our life. And what we did is we made a 6-month financial goal. There was other personal goals in there too, but we made a 6-month financial goal. And my mentor said, you got to write this down every day, and write this down 10 times a day. You got to say it 10 times a day, and you got to do it for 10 months. No excuses. You got to do it. You got to do it. And so I don't know how many other people follow through with it. I think a lot of us did because it was a small class and we were all very serious. But I did it, and look at this. For 6 months, I mean, it's numerous papers on here. I wrote over and over. It was 3 paragraphs of the goal. I wrote it over and over and over again. And that's not it. Right here. Even when I remember when I was on an airplane, it's in here. Look at this. Page after page. All of these are pages. I did not skip a day. What that did is, and this was on a financial goal, what this did is it put it in my mind. Like, there was an amount that I wanted to make per month. I wanted to get from one level of income up to another level of income. And so what he had us do is we wrote it and we said it 10 times. I surpassed that goal. I don't want to mention a number here because, when you mention numbers, then a lot of doubts come to people about what they can do. So I won't mention a number, but the number very good. But that shows you right there. And what that was doing is, number one, consciously I would say it to myself. And I took it a step further, and I had put it on a recorded tape. Like, people thought I was nuts. I was going around to my clients, and I had the earphones. And back at this time, when this was around, this was before the iPhone had the plug in and you could put the MP4s in there. This was still walking around with a cassette tape. And I had that thing on my hip, and between going to clients, I would have that thing playing. And then even when I was walking to clients, I still had it playing at a low level. Like, I just wanted to just keep hearing it over and over and over again. So if we go back to show the power of this, because I want to give you a contrasting thing to think about. If you don't believe that something like this can work for you, what I want you to do is I want you to give a family member, a friend, or someone that you will not want to hit when they do this to you all the time for this test. I want you to allow them to call you a piece of you know what. And every time they see you, they say it over and over and over again. You're a piece of, you ain't. Every time they see you, over and over and over again. you will not. Let me tell you, first when you say it, it's going to hit you, and then when they say it over and over and over again to you, then you're gonna you may not you won't react, and that's going to be the bad part about it, because you would have accepted it and you would not even understand how you've accepted it. That means that when other people call you that, you're going to accept it. That's why you got to be very careful about the words that you allow people to call you. When I retire, trust me, there's going to be some other stuff that I'm going to be talking about that's happening in our world with rap music and stuff like that. Uh, so look at how that is. If you had allowed somebody to do that, and then you put your goals together and you do what I told you to do, but you got to do it at different times. I don't even think you would make it through one day if you saw that person all like 2 or 3 times a day. You would tell them to stop, because then you would be aware. See, the thing is that what's happening to you now is so subtle. Some of the stuff was said to you when you were a kid, so it's like it's just internalized in you. And when other people say it, you don't really react to it the same way, because you already think that of yourself. But now when you start to do what I'm telling you to do, is write those goals, and short. Doesn't need to be anything long. Just start with something small, make it a 6 month. Say it, write it, and record it on your phone, and play it to yourself before you go to bed. That's all you need to do. That's all you need to do for 6 months. Get back with me. If you do that and you prove it to me, I got a special gift for you also. But you will see the change, and then you will get confronted. At some point, you're going to get tested to see if you want to be the new person that you claim that you want to be, because it's like the universe is going to send you that test, and it's the universe not saying you are or you aren't. The universe is like, which direction are we going to send this person? Like, you make the decision, but you have to pass tests to get to those decisions. That's for all of us. So hope you enjoyed this. If you want to see more content like this, go to my YouTube channel if you're not on YouTube right now, and it's Making Money with Stephen A. Williams. You'll see my picture, so you'll know it's me. Please like this video. Please share it. Please post your questions and comments. I enjoy